Good afternoon and welcome to WCBN's broadcast of Michigan women's basketball. Here at Chrysler Arena, I'm Emily Herrard with Leo Blavin, and the Wolverines are ready to face the 5-3 Red Hawks of Miami of Ohio. Both teams looking for a win after coming off losses. The Wolverines losing to number 20 UCLA, and they're looking to turn things around as they couldn't hold on in the fourth quarter. Leo, what do you expect to see from the Wolverines today?
Well, yeah, Michigan coming off their first two losses of the year against very good competition. Obviously, going on the road is never easy, especially to Princeton, a team that has been good the past 2 years when they faced Michigan. And then, as you mentioned, just down the stretch, UCLA too much. Michigan gets a much easier matchup today against Miami of Ohio, but still, anytime you lose two straight, you worry about it's starting to take its mental toll on a team. So it'll be interesting to see how Michigan responds. They're obviously angry. They want to get back on the winning side of the column, especially with Big Ten play coming up. They want to finish non-conference play strong. This is their last home game of non-conference play. So I expect to see a very inspired and gritty performance from the Wolverines today.
And the Wolverines like to play at home. They're 7-1, so they want to protect home court. And who do you see as the Wolverines' go-to player for this afternoon?
I think it's really going to be Haley Thome. She's just was so dominant. Even against UCLA, she still had 24 points, and I think she's going to be a big matchup problem, as the biggest players that Miami of Ohio is going to throw out is 6'2" and 6 foot. So Haley Thome at 6'5", she's going to have an advantage down low, and I look to see the Wolverines try to feed her and really let her get going early and often down low.
And down low, the Wolverines average 41 rebounds a game, and the Red Hawks 42. So it'll be interesting to see if they're going to battle on the boards this afternoon. And starting for the Wolverines, we're going to have at guard number 3, Caitlin Flaherty. At point guard, Sierra Thompson. Hallie Thome, as we were talking about, and Jillian Dunston, who has fought for her starting position this season, along with Danielle Williams.
And Dunston's interesting. This will be her 8th straight start, so I think she's perhaps shown enough in practice and in those starts to earn this starting nod. Another player worth mentioning, which you brought up that's starting, Caitlin Flaherty. She already has 2 3-point games this year. This is a very likely opportunity for a third. And she's really on a tear in her last 3 games. She's averaging 25.7 points per game and shooting just under 50% from the field. And if she can keep that pace up, there's no reason she can't be an all Big Ten player this year. But it's one thing to do it against bad competition like Miami of Ohio, like I expect her to do today. It's another if she can take that next step, and once Michigan gets into conference play, if she can keep playing this well. Because if she can, she may well be one of the best players in the country.
Exactly. And for the Red Hawks, we have number 10, Christian Levering, number 11, Anna Richard, number 21, Leah Purvis, and number 24, Bailey Reed, who is their leading scorer with 17 points a game, and finally number 25, Molly McDonough. Both teams are ready to start this action. The Wolverines in white today on this Saturday afternoon. And instead of Danielle Williams starting, it will be Madison Rostovsky for the Wolverines.
Rostovsky really improving. As a 3-point shooter, she has 11 threes on, and is shooting over 50% from behind the arc. So anytime you can have a player that stretches the perimeter, especially 2 in Flaherty and Rostovsky, it just continues to open up Michigan's offense.
And we're ready to tip off. Hallie Thome tips it to Sierra Thompson, who gives it to Flaherty in the right wing, down low to Thome. Thome guarded well, but she puts up a hook shot, and that's good. Her first shot is good for 2.
And that's what I was just talking about before the game. That's going to be a mismatch all day for Michigan. Thome is a mismatch nightmare for Kristen Levering at 6'2" against 6'5". I expect that to be the offensive game plan for Michigan.
Now, Miami of Ohio missing. Rebound goes to Sierra Thompson. She's going to push it across court, gives it to Madison Rostovsky. She drives, dumps it to Thome. She can't get a good handle on the ball as she is knocked down to the ground by number 10, Kristen Levering.
Yeah, and Thome just not ready for that one, as Rostovsky had no trouble off the pass. She pump faked and drove right to the rim. She could have put up a shot, and I think that's what Thome was expecting, as she was more prepared for rebound when the pass came to her. She just wasn't ready, but draws the foul nonetheless.
Now Flaherty with a quick three from the right wing, and that is good. Flaherty starting out with a make. Wolverines lead 5-0.
Yeah, she's been absolutely on fire in these last 3 games, and if that first shot's any indication, it doesn't look like that hot streak's going to stop.
And Reed misses for the Red Hawks. And now the Wolverines are pushing it with Madison Rostovsky. She gives it up top to Sierra Thompson. She's going to dribble, waiting for a screen from Kelsey Mitchell. She gives it down low to Thome, who goes up for the layup. No good. Rebound grab by Kelsey Mitchell, who puts it back in, and that's good. And now there is a timeout by Miami of Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, not surprising at all. It's been made abundantly clear so far that the game plan for Kim Barnes' Rico squad was feed Hallie Thome, let her finish at the rim. Miami on that last play, double teaming her. She missed, but it left a wide open lane for the putback. And Michigan starts as well as you could have scripted on a early 7-0 run. Miami can't let Michigan beat them down low. They've got to force the Wolverines to continue to shoot from the perimeter, and Michigan shot well from there as well, so it may be, the lesser of two evils, but it's very clear that if they're going to allow Hallie Thome to continue to score, that she could easily dominate and end this game very quickly. So a smart timeout, and something that I think has to have Miami very concerned.
And when the Wolverines are dominant down low, if the other team starts to figure it out, then they just kick it out, and you have Caitlin Flaherty, Madison Rostovsky, and even Sierra Thompson, who can shoot the long ball. And then off the bench, Nicole Munger and Boogie Brzezowski are 2 great freshmen that bring energy on the defensive end as well as the offensive end. So that's one thing that Miami of Ohio seems that they don't have the deepest bench, but that's something the Wolverines do have, and their lineup can be rotated, and it seems that everyone has good team chemistry.
Yeah, and Cleve Wright's got a hard task leading Miami today. As you mentioned, Michigan's so deep, so many weapons, and it's just a tough position to be in when you go on the road. These aren't games that I think Miami wants to stay competitive, but by no means do they come in expecting to win. That being said, they can't let the most obvious player for Michigan beat them in Hallie Thome. They've got to find ways to force Michigan to settle for jump shots from behind the arc, because even the best shooting teams are going to miss them occasionally, whereas Hallie Thome right under the rim, you can't expect her to miss very often.
She's one of the leading players in the league right now for field goal percentage, so as you said, you cannot leave her open down low.
And even covered, it's hard to really stop her. They've got to deny her the basketball, and whether it's going to be Kristen Levering or Molly McDonough going forward, they've just got to find a way to deny Hallie Thome the basketball, because once she gets it inside the paint, she's really improved her low post moves, and she's just a freshman, which makes you wonder how much better she can get.
And now the action is back on the floor. We have Purvis at guard. Now down low, but it's tapped by the Wolverines, but it is kept by Levering. Up top, Purvis. She's guarded by Flaherty. She's going to drive. Gives it up. Down low now to Levering. She puts up a turnaround jumper. No good, but there's rebound. Put back, and that's good by Anna Richter. And now the Wolverines lead 7-2, Sierra Thompson. And now there is an offensive foul on the Wolverines on Kelsey Mitchell. That will be her first.
Yeah, I think they got her for a moving screen. And perhaps Miami can get a run after the timeout. They get their first basket of the game to cut the lead down to 5. And if they can go back-to-back possessions converting, gives them a lot of hope, but that's not going to help.
But now the Wolverines force a Miami turnover. We haven't seen the Wolverines go into their press defense yet, but they're still playing aggressive. Now we have Sierra Thompson. She crosses the timeline. She dribbles left wing. Guarded by Purvis. She gives it to Hallie Thome down low. She's going to dribble baseline. She goes up for the layup, but that is blocked by Reed, and she's going to push the ball up. She slows it down and brings it to the left wing. And she's going to be called for an offensive foul. That is Christian Levering with the foul, so she's going to sit down.
And that's a big loss because that's their starting 5. So Michigan already taking Miami's starting center out of the game, and that will provide a greater mismatch for Michigan. I just expect them to continue to try to get Thome the ball down low.
Sierra Thompson on the left wing, trying to get some movement from her team. She gives it to Madison Rostovsky, who's going to get a screen from Thome. Cross-court pass to Jillian Dunston. She drives, she puts it up, no good. And looks like the rebound is tapped out of bounds, and the refs are trying to decide who that was off of. And it will stay with the Wolverines.
Yeah, Tamira Ford, I have to give her credit. She just came in for Levering, and she's done a very good job on that first possession, denying Thome any opportunity of getting a pass.
And now it's Caitlin Flaherty who's going to drive. Floater. Looked like there's some contact, but no call. Rebound by Miami. Now 21, Purvis is on the left wing. She gives it up top to Richard. Left wing, Reed. Down low, and the pass is broken up by the Wolverines, and now it is going to be a jump ball on the floor. Possession arrow to Miami of Ohio.
Michigan, 3 players diving on the floor, and that's something Kim Barnes-Arico preaches. She wants this to be the grittiest, most hardworking team in the country. She certainly appreciates bodies all over the floor diving for that loose ball.
Now Purvis hands off to Reed. Up top. Now down low, back to Reed. She puts it up. Great movement on offense by Miami. Now Caitlin Flaherty, left wing. She's going to drive baseline. She finds Madison Rostovsky in the corner. She dribbles, jumper, that's good, 9-4 Wolverines. Now Purvis slowly brings it up the court. She hands it off to McDonough. Now down low to Richard. She misses the layup, and it's rebounded by Jillian Dunston. She brings it up, gives it to Flaherty. Flaherty back to Jillian Dunston for the jumper. From the corner, that's good. 11-4.
And Dunston, as she continues to improve on those, 15-foot shots where she doesn't necessarily have to be in the paint to score, it just makes her an even bigger threat because she's someone you could be comfortable with putting her on the low block, trying to score in the paint as well as settling for those mid-range jumpers.
Up top forward. She hands it off to Purvis. Purvis drives all the way over Hallie Thome, and she gets the layup to fall. Now Sierra Thompson pushing it quickly for the Wolverines. She gives it to Rostovsky in the right corner. Up top to Flaherty. Back to Sierra Thompson on the left wing. She drives. She goes all the way for the right-handed layup. No good. There's a foul.
Yeah, Thome had good positioning and forced the hold against Tamira Ford. So now both the starting 5 and the backup center find themselves in foul trouble here early on. And Thome finally gets her first rest of the game, and it's just more height coming in for Michigan. As you mentioned, this Michigan team's so deep off the bench, and it just seems like that's what Kim Barnes-Arico has been recruiting for, is depth, which Michigan didn't have the luxury of under Kevin Borseth. They finally do.
And Caitlin Flaherty finds a cutting Sam Trammell, and she's not going to make the basket, but she is fouled. So she will go to the line for 2.
That's her first, team 4. At the line now to shoot 2 for your Wolverines is number 21, Sam Trammell.
And her first shot is up and rattles in. That gives the Wolverines a 6-point lead with 5 to go in the first.
Miami, I will say, after this timeout, they've done a very good job denying Michigan the opportunity to get the ball down low to their bigs. They're forcing Michigan to pass it around the perimeter and settle for contested jump shots, and I think that's really what the Red Hawks could have hoped for out of that timeout is just don't make it so easy for Hallie Thome, and they've done a good job of that.
They have definitely slowed down the Wolverines as Anna Richter takes a three-pointer that bounces out of bounds and goes back to the Wolverines.
Number 20, Danielle Williams, and number 34, Boogie Brzezowski.
Now Boogie Brzezowski is in the game for the Wolverines at point guard. She brings it across the timeline. She gives it to Jillian Dunston. Back up top to Boogie for a three. That was no good. Rebound by McCoy. She gives it to Reed. Reed corner to Jazz Smith. Back up top, but stolen by Jillian Dunston. She's going to take it back all the way. She goes up hard, and she gets the foul. No good on the layup.
Smart move by Dunston. She had a trailer in Nicole Munger, who was cutting towards the basket, but she was just too far behind. And smart move, take it yourself, try to go for the and one, but if nothing else, you get to the line to shoot two. Heads up play on the fast break.
Jillian Dunston makes her first.
Into the game now for Miami, number 34, Megan Galloway, number 42, Jessica Rubright.
The second one is up and in as well. Jillian Dunston now has 4 this afternoon. Now, Miami facing a little bit of pressure on defense by the Wolverines as they trap, but Reed is able to get it across half court. She's in the corner, but she's going to be called for a charge, and that's something the Wolverines pride themselves on. Danielle Williams sacrificing her body, getting in the right position, and that is a turnover for Miami.
Yeah, there's no half-court violations anymore in the women's game. So with that pressure, Michigan's not hoping to force a turnover, preventing them to cross the time stripe. However, what they're trying to do is force turnovers such as that, whether it's passes thrown away, charging fouls by trapping a person in space. And that's exactly what Michigan was hoping for. They don't deploy it very often, but when they do, it's to force turnovers and make it difficult for teams to prepare for it by just throwing it in ever so intermittently.
Now Boogie Brzezowski, she passes it up top to Flaherty, trying to get some movement on offense as there's 7 seconds on the clock. Flaherty drives all the way herself. Good dribbling by Flaherty, and she gets all the way for the layup. 16-6, Wolverines lead.
And you got to make the shots in order for the press to come back out, and so Michigan able to force pressure again.
And it is almost stolen by the Wolverines, but a foul is called.
Michigan foul.
And I think Miami, the problem is no one who's handling the ball right now is dribbling with their head up, as the Red Hawks have one of their bigs wide open down low. Megan Galloway was open on that last sequence with Michigan's pressure. Michigan left someone open. You've got to dribble with your head up against pressure and look to get rid of the ball as opposed to splitting it with the dribble.
And a wide open Kendall McCoy makes a corner three, 16-9. Jillian Dunston now finds Munger in the corner. She puts up a jumper, no good. Rebounds, tap back to Munger, and she puts it up for 2. Way to follow their shots. Now McCoy to Reed as she gets across the timeline, and she falls to the ground, and they're going to call a foul on the Wolverines. But that was good defensive position and pressure by the Wolverines.
Yeah, I thought that was just a clean play. It appeared she picked the pocket. However, they're going to call, I suppose, the blocking foul is not allowing that freedom of movement. But I thought that was just a good, clean play. And I think once Big Ten play starts and play gets a bit more physical, you'll see those types of calls go uncalled and just a clean steal.
McCoy up top, left wing, now in the corner to right, and that's no good. Rebound by Jillian Dunston, up to Boogie Brzezowski. She has a clear lane. She's going to go all the way, and she gets the layup.
And a really heads-up play by Boogie Brzezowski is she saw that no one on Miami denied the ball, and as a ball handler, what you're taught to do is if no one's denying the ball, you get to the basket. And it seemed like Miami went into the zone not realizing that there was no one to cover except the ball handler, and Brzezowski heads-up play, just going straight to the basket for the easy lay-in. And Michigan on the other end going with their zone defense, which means Miami, if they're going to beat it, they're going to have to make their jump shots from behind the arc. That's the only way to go to counteract a 2-3 zone defense is by making shots from the perimeter, and Michigan appears content to let the Redhawks settle for uncontested jumpers from behind the arc until they start making them.
Exactly. And as you said, they have been struggling, the Red Hawks, on offense, break the press and look for the wide open girl down low. And that's something, even if you think with this Wolverines defense that someone is open, they are just great with movement, off the ball movement, and they're going to be able to rotate and play good defense. So here they are in their press again, always led by Nicole Munger. Now upright to McCoy. She gives it to Reed, and it is stolen by Flaherty. She finds a cutting Nicole Munger, and she's able to get the layup. Now they're back in their pressure again. Upright cross court, passes it. Now it's stolen by Danielle Williams. She's going to slow it down and give it to Flaherty up top. Nicole Munger now in the corner to Jillian Dunstan. Down low to Hallie Thome. She goes up for the reverse layup, no good, but she is fouled. So the Wolverines have been able to force 2 turnovers off of their full court pressure.
And that's the only thing really you could ask for, is when you throw out that press offense and defense and try to force the turnovers. Not only will you often get those turnovers, but then it leads to easy baskets the other way, or at least easy scoring opportunities.
Thome misses her first foul shot.
And that's really something that's been a staple. That was a staple of Kim Barnes-Arico's teams at St. Joe's, or St. John's, I should say, and it's a staple of the program she wants Michigan to become here. Is you don't see that a lot in the women's game, the high-pressure, havoc-type defense like you got used to under Shaka Smart at VCU and now at Texas in the men's game. But that high-pressure press defense can really cause problems in the women's game when it's so often a struggle to convert down low in the paint. If you force teams to settle for perimeter jump shots, it can really cause problems once you go to the zone.
And we just saw that happen. A long shot missed by the Red Hawks and taken back by the Wolverines for an easy layup, 25-9. They're still in the pressure. Top. They are able to get it to the wing to Richard, up top to Purvis. They're going to be able to set up their offense this time, but they still take a long 3 that rattles out, and the rebound goes to Sierra Thompson. Now Boogie Brzezowski, she kicks it to Flaherty. She hesitated and she drives all the way, no good, but she gets the foul.
And Michigan's, they're by no means the biggest team, the most athletic team, the fastest team, but they're just a team that likes to grind, and I think that's such an underestimated quality of this squad. Is they're not going to beat anyone with their athleticism or their talent, but they're going to try to outwork you, and that's what makes this press defense so successful. Is they don't have the length to deny teams the passing lanes. However, when a ball's loose, they're going to be the team that's diving all over for it, and they're also the team that when a pass gets made, they're going to be right in the face of the new ball handler as soon as they catch it.
And a lot of times the team that out-hustles a more talented team is the one that wins. And right now the Wolverines, their hustle is paying off for them as they lead 27-9, and they continue their full court press. Jillian Dunstan, and with some good pressure as the pass is thrown out of bounds, and it's Michigan's ball again.
That's now the 7th turnover just in this first quarter for Miami, so certainly expect the Redhawks to make some adjustments as this first quarter comes to a close to find some way to break this press.
The Wolverines with excellent ball movement on offense, but Sierra Thompson throws it away. Now Purvis is able to get the ball across half court for the Redhawks. Now Reed, she gives it to Richard, and it passed to Reed, but it bounces off her knees out of bounds. It's tough for the Redhawks. Another turnover, and now Sierra Thompson crosses the timeline. She brings it to the left wing, now up top to Boogie Brzezowski. She gives it back to Sierra Thompson, who gets a screen from Jillian Dunstan. Now Rostovsky for 3. That's no good, but rebound by Jillian Dunstan, who puts it back up. And that is good. 31-9, Wolverines lead as the first quarter ends.
I think we'll give Madison a break on that one and just credit her with the assist on the air ball.
Yeah, and that's one thing the Wolverines this afternoon, they have been on the boards like crazy. They're in the right place at the right time. They're going to the basket after their teammates shoot, and that's paying off for them. They have a total of 11 rebounds to Miami's 5. That's just another thing along with their pressure on defense. The Wolverines are also shooting 58% to Miami's 33, and the Wolverines have been shooting lights out all season so far with 51% from the field.
And Miami's got to find some way to break this press. They've got to make an adjustment because you just can't have, against this quality opponent, you can't have 7 turnovers in a quarter and expect to have any chance of winning this game. And I think that's evidenced by the 20-point margin Michigan's already built. Is it seems right now the only chance Miami has of coming back in this game is as soon as Kim Barnes-Rico finally calls off the press, but you wouldn't expect that to come until at least the 4th quarter. But right now it looks like Michigan may have no trouble getting across the century mark on the scoreboard.
No, and Kim Barnes-Rico never lets up with the press until towards the end of the game because she can do that since her bench is so deep. Even though it takes a lot of effort to implement a press, her team's in good shape and everyone off the bench is able to come and contribute to the defense. The Wolverines are led by sophomore Caitlin Flaherty with 7 points. On the other side, the highest scorer is McCoy with only 3 points for Miami of Ohio. But they, as we've been saying, they have not gotten any solid looks at the basket so far this afternoon.
And for Miami, it's very clear they're not going to be able to beat Michigan by settling for perimeter jump shots, because that's the thing is, even once you break the press, Michigan's going into a strong zone defense that's going to force you to make shots from the perimeter. If Miami's not able to do that, they're going to have to look to find a way to get the ball down low, and that starts with having someone line up on one of the elbows or right on the center of the charity stripe, having someone stand up there to break the press, and then distribute down low sort of as a middleman. Because Michigan's going to continue to be content allowing Miami to settle for uncontested 3-point jump shots because they're not making it.
And on the season, Miami's shooting 28% from long range, so that's definitely not going to beat the Wolverines. Sierra Thompson dribbles on the left wing for the Wolverines to start the second quarter. She passes it to Caitlin Flaherty. Flaherty goes between 2 girls, gives it to Kelsey Mitchell, then corner to Madison Rostovsky, and she makes that 3. Now Purvis will get the ball across the timeline for the Red Hawks. She dribbles to the right wing, up top to McDonough, then to Richer, up top, Galloway. Now to Reed, left wing. She's guarded by Flaherty. She's going to drive the basket, met by 2 Michigan defenders, and she thought she got fouled. The ball goes out of bounds and stays with Miami. It's inbounds to McDonough, and it is a shot clock violation as she tries to get to the basket. The ball does not touch the rim.
Michigan's smothering defense continuing to cause problems for Miami.
Now Sierra Thompson. She gives it to Kelsey Mitchell. Now back to Sierra Thompson in the corner. She drives cross-court pass to Madison Rostovsky. Up top, Sierra Thompson. Down low to Hallie Thome. She's going to spin move, layup, no good down low. Rebound goes to McDonough. She gives it up to Reed. Reed dribbles to the corner to Richard. She dribbles up top, then gives it to McDonough. Back to Reed, right wing. She's looking down low to Galloway. And there's going to be a foul on Hallie Thome.
And just back on the other end, that's going to be an area where Thome's going to have to continue to improve, is where you get the ball down low on the low block. It's one thing to get a move that gets you to the rim, but you've got to be able to finish. And once Big Ten play starts, those opportunities are going to become fewer and farther in between. She's got to be able to convert when she gets them.
And now Reed on a second chance opportunity, no good. Up top to Purvis as the Redhawks get an offensive rebound. She gives it right wing to Richard, up top to Purvis. She's guarded closely by Sierra Thompson. Now to McDonough. Back up top to Purvis. With 3 seconds to shoot, I don't think she's aware of the time. She puts up a shot, but she is called for the charge.
Miami foul on number 25, Molly McDonough. That's her first, team first.
And now Sierra Thompson directing the offense for the Wolverines. She finds Flaherty. Thought about the long three, but she gives it to Madison Rostovsky. Corner to Sierra Thompson. Now elbow, Kelsey Mitchell. Cross-court pass to Flaherty, who puts up the three. That's good. 35-39, Wolverines lead.
Yeah, and Flaherty, the one person you can't leave open from behind the arc, and unfortunately for Miami, they've done it. Now, I think that's 2 times they left her wide open from behind the arc. She's made them pay twice now.
McDonald down low to Galloway. She puts up a close jumper, and that is good. They're glad to see that one go in. And now Madison Rostovsky takes it the other way. She gets close for a layup, and she is fouled on the miss.
Miami foul on number 24, Bailey Reed. That's her second, team second. The line now to shoot 2 for your Wolverines is number 1, Madison Rostovsky.
Madison Rostovsky misses her first.
Back in the game now for Miami.
And Jillian Dunstan will check in for Kelsey Mitchell.
Back in the game now for your Wolverines, number
Kendall McCoy is now in for Miami.
Kelsey Mitchell.
Rostovsky's second shot falls. Looking at 36-11 Wolverines. Purvis gets it across for the Redhawks. She gives it to McDonough. Now to McCoy. She drives back out to Richard. She finds McCoy, who puts up a jumper, and that's an air ball and is going to be off of Jillian Dunstan. The Redhawks keep it.
And it was an air ball, but I think the officials missed it as the shot clock was reset. So missed call gives another opportunity for Miami to get a fresh shot clock.
And they get off a quick shot, but that is blocked by Hallie Thome and goes to Madison Rostovsky. She's going to push it the other way for the Wolverines. She tries to find Flaherty in the corner, but her pass is tipped and the Redhawks are going the other way. Purvis, she will slow it down up top. She gives it to number 11, then up top to McDonough. Back down low to Richard. She puts it up for 2, and that one goes. 36-13, Sierra Thompson. Now to Caitlin Flaherty on the right wing. She gives it to Rostovsky up top. Now Sierra Thompson, left wing. She puts up a long three. That one's no good. Rebound by Richard, given to Purvis, who will set up the offense for the Redhawks. She dribbles left wing. Up top, Levering. 2-11, she drives. She puts up the layup, and that one's good.
Basket by Anna Richter.
Richter now has 6. And the ball, there's a scramble for the ball, and Sierra Thompson ends up getting it. She gives it to Flaherty, who puts up the 3, and that one falls. Flaherty already has 13 this afternoon. The Wolverines lead 39-15. Purvis gives it to Richter down low to Levering, and she's going to almost throw the ball away, but she gets it back, puts up the layup, no good. Jillian Dunstan fighting for the rebound. She taps it to Flaherty. Flaherty for top of the key jumper, no good. And over the back call on Hallie Thome.
And Thome, that's her second foul, so she'll head to the bench during this timeout.
So Miami of Ohio has gotten some looks down low, so they've been able to score a little bit, but they're still down 39-15. The Wolverines have not been implementing their full court press, but they are still strong with 54% shooting. And we have Flaherty, who's leading the team with 13 points on 4 for 6 shooting, 3 for 3 from long range. And that's something that the Red Hawks were probably hoping that Flaherty would come into this game cold, but that's not something the Wolverines have seen much this season. As when they traveled to Princeton, Flaherty took the team on her back and scored 33 points. That wasn't enough, but for her to be able to perform that well against a solid team is something that the Wolverines have to be happy about going into Big Ten play.
Yeah, and it's something she's done in the past 3 games against UCLA as well, which against the Bruins, she also had 20 points. So she crossed the 20-point mark against 2 straight quality opponents. The problem you have is that Ohio State yesterday absolutely eviscerated this same Princeton team that caused problems for Michigan. So while Michigan continues to improve, there's still a long way to go to close the gap among them and the top teams in the Big Ten. Granted, Ohio State is a top 10 team nationally this year.
It'll be interesting to see how the Wolverines fare against Ohio State, because last year the Buckeyes traveled to Chrysler and the Wolverines pulled off a thrilling overtime win after Caitlin Flaherty hit a tying 3 late in the 4th. So, as you said, the Buckeyes are now a top 10 team, but the Wolverines have also improved. So,
and also, I think the switch to 4 quarters helps Michigan because it allows you to throw out that press, and even with the depth Michigan has, you still don't know how long they'll be able to run that continuous high-pressure, high-octane, high-effort, energy defense. But with the 4-quarter breaks and then the media timeouts separating those breaks, it provides a lot more just natural timeouts in the ebbs and flow of the game that will allow Michigan to get rest for both their starters and their bench players that are playing high minutes of really high-octane basketball.
Exactly. I think the 4-quarter switch for women's basketball has been a plus for both the viewers and the players.
It certainly improved, I feel, the quality of the action.
Now the Red Hawks are once again facing the Wolverines' full court pressure, and there's a trap at half court, but Richter's able to break it, but the Wolverines are able to steal the pass. That's Julian Dunston. She finds cutting Boogie Brzezowski, who tries to give it back to Dunston, but is stolen by Reed. She's double teamed on the wing, but she gets it to her teammate. And now it's back up top to Reed. She gives it to Richter up top. Now corner to McCoy. McCoy up top to Brown, no good. Rebound goes to the Wolverines. Boogie Brzezowski passes it up to Flaherty. Flaherty in the right wing corner. She gives it down low to Danielle Williams. Now Nicole Munger in the corner for 3, and that's good.
Michigan hitting from the perimeter, and here comes that pressure defense once again going full court press.
Now Richter double teamed. She gives it to McDonough. Now up top, Reed. She's going to slow it down. She gives it to McDonough and down low to Richter, and she puts it up for 2. Able to get past the Wolverines defense that time. So now Flaherty's going to drive. She goes up. It looks like she was fouled, but there's no call, and she misses. Ball to Richter.
And the officiating's been consistent this game. It doesn't appear they're going to give on those reckless drives to the basket. They're not going to call charges or blocking fouls.
The Wolverines get yet another steal as Boogie tries to get a fast break point, but it's kicked out to Danielle Williams, who jumper from the top of the key is no good. Now Richter guarded by Nicole Munger. She gets it on the wing to Reed up top. Now McCoy left wing. Tries to pass it down low. The ball's broken up, but there's a foul called.
Michigan foul on number 11, Jillian Dunston.
That's on Jillian Dunston, as Sam Trammell and Sierra Thompson will check in for Flaherty and Jillian Dunston.
Placing Caitlin Flaherty
Jazz Smith
34, Megan Galloway.
and Megan Galloway will check in for Miami of Ohio. As they get up a shot, and that is good by
Basket by Molly McDonough.
Miami, and now it's Sierra Thompson for three. She puts up a three, and that is no good, and it is going to go out of bounds to Miami. Still some Wolverine full court pressure. So the Redhawks get it across the timeline. Reed, she's going to drive, pull up at the foul line, and that is good. 42-21 with 2:15 to go in the half. Now Nicole Munger drives baseline. She kicks it to Danielle Williams. Now Thompson down low to Sam Trammell. Munger. Cross-court pass in the corner to Boogie, no good. And there's a foul on that rebound on the Wolverines.
And Michigan's offense going a bit cold on those shots from the perimeter. They're now 0 for their last 4, 2 of their last 9. So expect the Wolverines to try to start forcing the basketball down low again, getting some more easy shots, higher percentage shots from within the paint and just outside of it.
Now Purvis to McDonough. She gives it up to Reed, who is double teamed on the left wing, and there's going to be a turnover as it's over and back called on Miami. Now Thompson up top, facing Jazz Smith. She gives it to Munger. Munger drives, pulls up from the top of the key, and that's good. Give her 9 this afternoon. Purvis to McDonough, back to Purvis. She gets it across half court. Now she gives it up to Reed, who is again double teamed. Back to Purvis. She dribbles to the right wing, gives it up to McDonough. And to the corner, left corner to Reed. She puts up the 3, and that one falls.
And Reed tied her shoe during that possession. Her right shoe was untied, and I think Michigan left her alone for a minute, finished tying up the shoes, gets the ball, and hits the uncontested 3.
Now Sam Trammell with the strong move to the basket as she goes through Megan Galloway, who's looking for the charge, but it's going to be called a blocking foul.
Miami, 4 of their last 4, Michigan 1 of their last 5. But the Wolverines, such a strong start in the fourth quarter, made it such a big hole that it really hasn't made much of a difference. As much as Miami's gone on a little bit of a run, it still really hasn't helped much.
Now Danielle Williams to inbound for the Wolverines. She gives it to Thompson, who drives and bounces it to Munger, then to Danielle Williams, who puts up a jumper from the corner. That's good. Now Purvis is trapped at half court. She gives it to Reed, who is also trapped. She gives it back to Purvis. Now left corner to Smith. Smith back to Purvis. Down low is Galloway, who's trying to fight for a position. Now corner, and the drive by Jazz Smith, and she gets 2. 46-26, the Wolverines have 15 seconds to get one last shot off before the half. Now Boogie, right wing. Up top Munger, then left wing Sierra Thompson. She puts up a 3, and that one goes. 49-26 as the quarter ends. And the Wolverines are going into halftime with a 23-point lead, and they have to be happy with their energy on defense and their strong shooting performance so far.
Yeah, they've shot the lights out, and their defensive effort, I think, is what Kim Barzrigo is going to be most proud of at the end of the first half. And with Michigan on top by this margin, the question is now, can they get across the 100-point mark?
And now we will leave you for about 15 minutes for halftime, and we'll be back for the second half of action. Welcome back to Chrysler, where the Wolverines lead the Redhawks 49-26. We're about to get the second half started. The Wolverines have been dominant on both ends, implementing their full court press along with shooting the ball lights out of 53% from the field and 50% from long range. One contributor is Caitlin Flaherty, who has 13 points. She has shot 3 for 3 from beyond the arc. On the other side, the Redhawks have been struggling to get some good looks, as the leading scorer is Richter with 8 points. She also has 4 rebounds, and the Redhawks' #1 scorer, Reed, only has 7 points so far throughout this game. And part of the game plan for the Wolverines is they don't allow the top scorers of their opponents to get good looks and get the ball in a spot where they're able to convert. So Wolverines have been forcing outside shots so far in the first half. So
yeah, that's something that Kim Barnes-Arico has made one of the staples of this program, is taking away the best player from your opponent and forcing them to beat you with some of the secondary contributors. And unfortunately for the Redhawks, they just haven't been able to do anything offensively. With Michigan, whenever they've gone to pressure into the zone defense and forced Miami to settle for perimeter jump shots, they haven't been able to convert.
So now as the second half starts, the Redhawks get the ball first, and we'll see if they can put some points up. We have up top Purvis, guarded by Flaherty. She's going to get around the corner and go all the way, but her layup is no good. Rebound to Flaherty. She pushes it up to Rostovsky. She goes up for the layup, and that is good. Good way for the Wolverines to start the second half, 51-26. Now Purvis crosses the timeline. She hands it off to Reed. Up top, McDonough to Richter on the left wing, and there's going to be a foul called off the ball.
Michigan foul on #2 Sierra.
That is on Sierra Thompson.
That's her first, team first.
That'll only be her first foul of the afternoon. Now the Redhawks inbounds it to Levering, but she dribbles it off her foot. Richter's able to get the ball back, and she gives it to Purvis. And now it's back to Richter on the right wing. She gives it to Reed, guarded by Thome. She's going to drive baseline, almost out of bounds. She throws it away to Sierra Thompson. She's going to try to give it to Flaherty in the right corner. She does. Back to Thompson, down low, Thome. She goes up for the lefty hook, and that rattles in.
And back on the other end, Michigan's defense, they want to force you in the corner, they want to force you baseline and then trap you there, force you to try to throw a wayward pass, skip passes, and get turnovers off those wayward passes.
Now down low, McDonough, she tries to get it to Reed in the corner, no good, so it's stolen by Sierra Thompson. Up to Flaherty for the fast break layup. Now Purvis, she's going to slow it down for the Redhawks. They're going to try to run their offense, but Flaherty is playing strong defense up top. Now to McDonough, to Richter for the 3. That's no good, and there's a scramble for the rebound. It is out of bounds, and it goes to the Wolverines.
Just the turnovers continue to add up for the Redhawks. That's their 16th turnover in the game. Certainly something that Kim Barnes-Arico is going to be very pleased with. However, I don't think Miami's going to be very content in a game they needed to play almost perfect to get the win. They're just not doing anything right on offense or defense.
And now Hallie Thome found a cutting Kelsey Mitchell down low for a great layup. The Wolverines lead 57-26. McDonough up top for Miami. She swings it to Galloway. Now to Richter for the long 3. That's no good, and it's going to be rebounded by Kelsey Mitchell. Handed it off to Rostovsky. Now Sierra Thompson, she's going to drive. She gets the layup. What a fast start for the Wolverines. They lead 59-26, as Miami hasn't scored a single basket yet this half. And they're going to call a timeout to slow down the Wolverines' but it looks like the Red Hawks have no answer for the Wolverines defense.
It's time for the Michigan basketball dance camp.
Yeah, they just hasn't been much that's going right, and they're at a point now where the game is pretty much already sealed up, and there's still so much time left in the second half, where I think now if you're Miami, you focus on throwing out some different defenses. You treat it almost like a competitive scrimmage where this game's lost, but you want to make the most of your opportunity to play against a quality opponent. This is going to be a better team than any team Miami is going to face in the MAC conference. So try to make the most of these next 2 quarters and find ways, test different ways to beat the trap defense, to score against his own defense. And I think that's what Miami's focus has to be in this timeout right now.
Then for one thing for the Wolverines, when you have a lead like this, sometimes it can be hard to continue playing solid basketball without getting sloppy. They'll keep their strong lead, but for coaches, especially Kim Barnes-Arico, she's going to want her team to continue to play sharp, so they're probably not going to let up on defense much. And they're going to try to get good ball movement on offense, maybe get it down low to Hallie Thome.
Yeah, Thome hasn't made as big an impact as I expected, but I think it's more to do with she got into foul trouble early in the first half, and they really haven't needed much from her either.
She only has 5 points, a rebound and an assist, but as you said, she hasn't had a lot of playing time. The Wolverines are on the court, ready to go. The Red Hawks are trying to get every last second out of this timeout. Now they are ready to play again. McDonough will inbounds it to Purvis. Going to bring it up the court for the Red Hawks. Now to Reed, right wing. She gets a screen from McDonough. She passes it to Richter, who also gets a screen from McDonough. She's going to pick up her dribble. She hands it to McDonough. Now Reed, she drives into some traffic and she shoots from the foul line. That's good.
And that's really what Miami needed in the first half. Breaking through the zone defense, getting to those open spots, especially around the elbows and the free throw line area. That's where the 2-3 zone is most vulnerable. The problem was in the first half, Miami wasn't hitting those shots like they hit just there.
Now Flaherty with a step back 3, no good. Rebound by Kelsey Mitchell. She almost throws it away, but gives it to Rostovsky. Sierra Thompson tries to pass it down low to Thome, but that pass is broken up. Now it is Purvis going the other way. She gets a screen from Galloway, and she shoots and airballs it out of bounds to Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan on that last possession. They don't need to force it into Thome. Take it when it's there, but if it's not, Michigan's been converting at such a high clip on their jump shots that no need to force it down low. It's not like they've gone on any sort of drought offensively when shooting the rock.
Now Sierra Thompson gives it to Flaherty, who's wide open for the 3, but she misses. Rebound goes to McDonough, and she gives it up to Purvis. Now Reed, she gets it down low to McDonough, and now Richter drives. She's met by Rostovsky, and now it's up top Purvis with 10 seconds to go on the shot clock. She gives it to Galloway up top. Reed, good hands by Sierra Thompson, but Purvis is able to keep it. She gives it to Reed, who puts up the 3 with 1 second left on the shot clock, and that falls.
Yeah, 2 good jump shots from Miami on their last few possessions. And I think it's going to build confidence for them down the road. They're not going to win this game, but they're going to feel better about the fact that against this defense, they improved as the game progressed. And I think that's something Cleve Wright had to have been preaching in that last time out.
And the Red Hawks force a Wolverines turnover, but they're unable to convert as Flaherty brings it down the other way, and she is bumped out of bounds a little bit, but good defense by Miami as she throws the ball away.
And I think Michigan's got to slow down their offense a little bit, as Flaherty tried to take it as it was a fast break opportunity, but it was nothing there. It was her against 3 Miami Redhawk defenders. Just settle things down. You're up 28. There's no need to force the basketball and try to get quick, easy conversions, especially when it's an odd man break and it's not in your favor.
Yeah, it's time to take the ball, and slow it down
Eat
a
some
little
clock,
bit, eat
yeah.
some clock.
And I understand wanting to keep the tempo up, continue to pressure on defense, but offensively, no need to try to run a fast break offense because Michigan's done good from their half-court sets in this game.
Now Purvis gives it to Reed. She's going to drive on Rostovsky. She kicks it out to McDonough. Up top, Galloway, she puts up a 3, no good. And the rebound is off of Rostovsky, and Miami's going to keep the ball. Now major substitutions and a timeout on the court. Some choppy action.
Yeah, it hasn't been the cleanest third quarter for sure. I think both sides just trying to try some different things. We really haven't seen Michigan go into that pressure defense that provided such success for them in the first half. I think both teams are just, at this point, very content to sort of feel things out, try some different things. Neither side certainly playing their best basketball, and it'll be interesting to see if Michigan comes back out with that pressure defense out of the timeout, as we saw them do in both the first and second quarter. It was out of timeouts that we saw them throw back that full court pressure.
And as you said, the Wolverines have been successful in their half-court set so far this afternoon, and that's something that they should try to work on throughout the rest of this game, because when they faced Princeton, they had to run their offense out of the half-court set, but they struggled because they're so used to getting fast break opportunities off their pressure defense and turnovers. But Princeton plays a slower paced basketball, and that's something that made it difficult for the Wolverines to figure out how they were going to score the basketball.
And one thing that's really continued to surprise me is Hallie Thome hasn't been a factor really since the first quarter. Once she got those 2 fouls and went to the bench, Michigan hasn't, for whatever reason. Some credit has to be given to the Miami Redhawks, but at the start of this game, Hallie Thome came away with 2 very easy baskets, 7-0 to start the game. Miami takes a timeout, and whatever Cleve Wright told his squad, they've done a great job just simply denying her the basketball as this game has progressed.
Exactly, and as you said earlier, once Hallie Thome gets the ball, it's usually hard to stop her. She has good hands, and she can finish well at the basket for a freshman. So denying her the ball is very important for opponents. And now the game will resume as the Redhawks have the ball under their own basket. Purvis to inbound the ball. She gets it in to Reed, who gets an easy layup. It's 59-33 Wolverines. Now cross-court pass to Munger. She's going to drive, kicks it out to Boogie. She will pull it back out to the right wing. Dribbles up top. Boogie now on the left wing. There's going to be a foul called down low in the post. On, it looks like number 25.
Miami foul, number 25,
Molly McDonough.
That's her second, team first.
Now Danielle Williams passes it in to Munger, who drives. She's going to go baseline, gives it back to Danielle Williams on the right side. Munger for 3. That one doesn't fall. And the rebound, the ball goes off of the Redhawks, and the Wolverines will keep it with a new shot clock. Danielle Williams gives it in to Munger. Up top to Boogie Brzezowski. She's going to step back and take a jumper from the elbow, and that one falls. 61-33 with 4 to go in the third quarter. Wolverines have some more full court press to go along for
Yeah.
the Red Hawks.
Continue to see that at the timeouts. Good press break there for Miami.
That was number 40,
Basket by
Kendall McCoy with the layup. Now Munger, she's going to drive. She kicks it out to Danielle Williams. Up top, Dunstan. Brzezowski, left wing. She dribbles it up to the top. Sam Trammell to Munger, left wing. She gets a screen from Dunstan. She's going to drive, but kicks it to Danielle Williams on the right wing. She drives. She's going to get the block called for her. Close to a charge, but
Miami foul
she
on number 24,
drew the
Bailey
foul on 24,
Reed. Team
Bailey
second.
Reed. Now Munger, she's going to drive. She puts up the floater. That goes in, 63-35 Wolverines. Munger pressuring Purvis in the backcourt. She gives it to McDonough. Now they break the press. Now Reed had a great opportunity, but she misses the jumper. Rebound goes to Danielle Williams. She pushes it the other way, and she finds Munger in the right corner. She thought about the three, but she gives it to Brzezowski. Back to Munger. Down low to Dunstan. Back to Munger. Now up top to Boogie Brzezowski. Munger cross-court pass to Danielle Williams, who puts up the three, and that one falls.
Danielle Williams.
She is 5.
Pointer.
The Wolverines still in their press. The Red Hawks try to get it across the timeline, and they do. But the Wolverines are scrambling for the loose ball. Jump ball, and the possession arrow is for the Wolverines.
And Kim Barzarico clapping it up on the sideline, getting her bench into it as well. She loves the effort. Even though it's a blowout game, she wants to see Michigan continue to grind and hustle, especially with some of these players who aren't going to see significant minutes as the season progresses. She wants to see this team that can grind whenever any of these players are on the floor, so she absolutely loves to see that effort, and it's great to see that intensity continue even as the game continues to become more and more secure for Michigan.
Now Munger finds Boogie in the corner. She's going to give it up top to Williams. Back to Munger, left wing. She shoots the three. She gets that one to go. She has 14. She pressures Purvis, who gives it to McCoy. McCoy back to Purvis. She crosses the timeline, but she's met by a trap. She gives it to Smith, and the pressure by the Wolverines causes the ball to go out of bounds, but the Red Hawks will keep possession. Up top, Purvis. She gives it to Smith. Back to Purvis. Now they get it into Galloway, and she's able to make the short jumper within the paint. Now Munger for the Wolverines. She's up top. She gives it to Boogie. She's going to pull it out and slow it down for the Wolverines. Now Williams. She cross-court passes it to Sam Trammell and almost goes out of bounds, but Munger gets control of it. Back to Boogie. Boogie to Munger. She puts up the three, and she is knocked down during the shot by Molly McDonough, so she's going to get 3 foul shots.
Miami foul, number 25, Molly McDonough. That's your third, team third. At the line now to shoot 3 for your Wolverines is number 10, Nicole Munger.
The Wolverines have had 10 attempts from the foul line, and Miami has not been sent there once. As Munger makes her first out of 3, giving the Wolverines 70. The second one is good as well.
Back in the game now for Miami is number 3, Tamira Ford.
Tamira Ford checks in for Miami. For McDonough. And Nicole Munger makes all 3 foul shots. Wolverines lead 72-37 with a minute to go in the third. Ford gets it across half court, but she is met by 2 Wolverine defenders. Cross-court pass to Smith, who gets up the 3, but she misses, and the rebound's going to be pulled down by Miami, but now the ball's on the ground. The Wolverines have it. They're calling a timeout, but looks like they're going to call. Yes, they are going to get the timeout before the jump ball was called, so the Wolverines will get possession after this timeout. Now, Nicole Munger has come off the bench, and she's been on fire. She's 6 for 8 with 17 points, and she leads the Wolverines. She's also 2 for 3 from long range. On the other side, Reed leads it for the Red Hawks. She has 14 points.
And I think that it's a positive sign for Michigan in that Flaherty and Munger have been the dominant forces in this game, but there hasn't been that one player who's really taken over for Michigan. It's been a good dispersal of points, and I think that is a testament to what you pointed out at the start of this game, just the depth Michigan has on the bench. They have so many players who Michigan's coach, Kim Barzarico, can be confident putting into the game and not expecting a drop-off when Michigan has the ball offensively. Defensively, all these players are solid because of their effort and intensity and their high basketball IQ. But offensively, it's one thing to be smart with the basketball. It's another to just be good enough to score against your opponent. And Michigan's got a lot of depth in that department.
Now the Wolverines bench facing some pressure from the Red Hawks, but they get it easily across half court. And Nicole Munger makes another jumper from the right wing. And the Wolverines are going to come back at Miami with their own pressure. As Purvis gets the ball stripped away from her by Munger. It's Dunston going all the way for the layup. No good, but rebound Danielle Williams. No good. She gets her own rebound, puts it back. No good, and she's going to secure yet another rebound as Purvis knocks her to the floor. Foul. That will be foul number 4 on Miami.
That was a 3-on-1 for Michigan, and Dunston had 2 players that were both open that she could have left it to. Sometimes you like to see the player be unselfish and finish, but in that pressure, in a 3-on-1, you've got to be smarter with the basketball. I know you want to get yours, but at some point you've got to make the obvious and easy pass, especially on a 3-on-1 break.
Now, Munger is going to be called for a travel before she makes her shot. With 4 seconds to go in the third, the Wolverines are still going to put some pressure, make sure the Red Hawks don't get up. Another shot, and Danielle Williams gets her feet in the right position and draws a charge on number 21, Leah Purvis. And so the Wolverines will have one last opportunity with 1.7 on the clock to get a shot up in the third quarter. Ball into Sam Trammell, but it is knocked away by the Red Hawks. And we go into the fourth quarter, the Wolverines leading 74-37. And this has just been, as you said, a dominant performance because of the effort on defense. As you said, it doesn't matter if you're on a bench player for the Wolverines. All that matters is that you come and work hard. They're the hardest working team. That's what they like to call themselves. And tonight, that's what we've seen. Nicole Munger has come off the bench for the Wolverines, and she has 19 points, but a lot of that is because she leads the Wolverine press, and that gives her a lot of fast break opportunities. And also in the half court set, she's been able to get some open shots and knock down jumpers.
You obviously don't want to make too much of a game like this just because of the opponent, but I mean, there's a lot of things that Michigan, I think, can build off of in this game, especially that when they play defense this well and find teams that can't handle it, because even in the Big Ten, there will be teams that just can't handle this pressure. And when Michigan's able to really click on defense, I think they can beat any team in the Big Ten.
And the Wolverines will begin Big Ten play December 31st against Purdue. But before that, they have one more non-conference game away on the 23rd at Eastern Michigan. So they can look to get another win so they can go in strong to their conference play.
And Eastern will be a more improved MAC team. So while it's still not going to be the type of opponent they'll see once Big Ten play begins, it should provide a better test, especially because part of the game is obviously on the road. It's still in Ypsilanti, so it's not too much of a road game. Michigan won't have to stay at a hotel or anything, but they won't be in their normal gym, and it'll be a good opportunity for Michigan to continue to keep things rolling before Big Ten play starts.
trying to get some holiday spirit here in Chrysler. The fans all getting Michigan Santa hats, and some of the Michigan women's team.
Yeah, I like
singing
that.
along.
I was hoping we would get some of those. They got the Maze Santa hats going. Nothing for the media, though, but it's a nice promotion. I like it. Festive.
Now the fourth quarter is about to begin. The Redhawks will get the ball on the sideline. Forward to inbounds. She gets it into Reed. Reed gives it to Richter. Now corner forward to Smith. Up top to Galloway. Down low to Smith, but the pass is broken up by Trammell, but she falls out of bounds with the ball. Now Richter passes it in to Reed. Down low forward, guarded by Thome. She's going to drive baseline, and she tries to pass it back out, but it's broken up by Kelsey Mitchell. Now Thompson to Rostovsky. Now Flaherty for a right corner three. That one falls. 77-37 Wolverines. Now Reed to Richter. She finds Galloway up top. Now Smith on the left wing. Down low to Ford. She's double teamed, but she passes it back out to Smith, who puts up the three. That one falls. Rostovsky, she drives, but she gives it back out to Mitchell. Flaherty up top. Jumper from the foul line. That one's good.
I think the only question now, can Michigan cross that century mark? And right now, I think they're on pace to do that, especially if they go back to that pressure defense.
With 79, the Wolverines will look to do that. They've done that a couple times this season. Now on offense, we have Galloway, Smith. She's guarded by Flaherty. She gives it to Ford, who's on the foul line. Now to Smith. Or Reed, she's guarded by Thompson. She drives, she puts up a floater, no good. Gets her own rebound, puts it back up. And that one rattles in for her. Thompson finds a cutting Thome all the way down the court, and she's able to convert on that layup. It's been a while since she scored, but that'll be 7 for Thome. Now Reed to Smith. Cross-court pass to Richter. She puts up a three from the right wing. That one falls.
And Richter with a 3-point basket.
Now Flaherty. She finds Thome down low. She's double teamed, but she gives it to a cutting Kelsey Mitchell, who gets the right-hand layup. Reed met by Thompson. Gets a screen from Ford, and there's going to be a foul on Kelsey Mitchell.
Michigan foul number 32, Kelsey Mitchell. That's her second, team first. Back in the game now for Miami is number 42, Jessica Rubright.
Jessica Rubright checks back in for Megan Galloway. Now Reed. She gives it to Richter on the right wing. Cross-court pass to Smith. She fakes it and dribbles in for the layup. That one's good. Miami's gotten some offense flowing for them in this fourth quarter. 83-47. Flaherty on the other end. She's going to whip it to Rostovsky in the corner, who gives it up to Sierra Thompson for a three at top, and that's no good, out of bounds, and it's going to be a foul on Hallie Thome.
Yeah, Thome's, for whatever reason, seemed to really struggle in this game. She never, after such a quick start, she never really got back into the fold. Her defense hasn't been that great. Her rebounding hasn't been that great, despite her obvious size advantage. So, just for whatever reason, I think it's so tough, especially as a freshman, when you're playing such significant minutes. When you go out and get in foul trouble early, I think it just takes you out of the rhythm of the game. She never was able to really get back into it.
Now on the other end, there's a miss grabbed down by Jillian Dunstan, who pushes it to Rostovsky. She's going to get it down low to Trammell. Turnaround jumper. from the post, and that is good. 85-47 with 6:20 to go in the game. Reed, she dribbles right. She's going to be double teamed, met by Trammell. But she's going to continue driving to the basket. She puts it up. No good, but there is a foul. She will go to the line for 2.
Michigan foul on number 2, Sierra
And that
Thompson.
foul was on
Second
Sierra
team.
Thompson.
At the line now to shoot 2 for Miami is number 24, Bailey Reed.
Reed makes her first foul shot to give Miami 48. Her second one is good as well. Now Thompson for the Wolverines. She'll give it to Dunston. Now Flaherty on the left wing. She gets a screen from Trammell. She's going to take a jumper from the left elbow. That one falls. That gives her 22. Now Reed once again for Miami. She gives it to Richter on the left wing, guarded by Madison Rostovsky. She's going to drive the middle. She gives it to Reed. Reed drives. She's going to put that one up against Sierra Thompson. No good. The rebound goes to Rostovsky. Rostovsky gives it up to Dunston. Dunston finds Flaherty in the corner, who puts up a 3. That one falls. Flaherty with 25.
Flaherty just continuing to roll, and you wonder if she can continue this solid play against Eastern. That'll be 5 straight games where she's absolutely been on fire shooting the basketball. And if she can keep that up, as I was saying, in Big Ten play, she could be in the conversation for Big Ten Player of the Year. And obviously a conference with so many talented players, but she's really playing at that high level. And what's crazy, I think, is she's still only a sophomore. She came in as Michigan's highest recruited player ever in the program's history, and she has certainly lived up to the hype, if not more. If Michigan continue to land more and more players of that caliber, they're going to be a team that can contend for Big Ten championships and start being a team that can make it to that second weekend of the women's NCAA tournament, make it to a Final Four. And that's what Kim Barnes-Arico has to continue to do, is recruit the talented players, because she's certainly a talented enough coach. The problem is, if you don't have the talent to compete with your coaching ability, you're not going to win many games. She's starting to build that, though. And Thome is another player who I think you can throw in that conversation of one of those elite recruits that's come into Michigan and help continue to make this program better and better each and every year.
Now there's a timeout on the court, but as you said, Flaherty is only a sophomore, and last year she came off the bench mostly as a spot-up shooter, but now she's able to create her own offense, and she, again, is still able to shoot the 3, but she's able to create space for herself, and she also gets her teammates involved. So she's going to continue to be a strong leader for the Wolverines, and as you said, just to have good games like this going into conference play will give her confidence when she faces bigger opponents, and she's going to be needed by her team. Last year, sometimes in bigger games, we saw her not shoot the 3 as well. Maybe that was just the pressure of the situation. So now, as a sophomore, she has more confidence and more leadership, so she should be able to step up in those bigger games.
Yeah, and with the depth Michigan has, too, the thing is, she's not going to be counted upon. It's not like she's going to need to come out each and every night and score 30 points and have one of these lights-out shooting performances, because they have the likes of Madison Rostovsky, Sierra Thompson. I mean, Sierra Thompson at one point last year was the Wolverines' go-to scorer. Now they have the luxury of having Thome as well, who all these different players that can hurt you, and they just need 1 or 2 of them to get going to have an opportunity to win in any game.
And as you said, Thome isn't having the best night today, but
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because other people can step up. So when Flaherty's not having the greatest night, then that's Thome's chance to step up. So that's what is lucky about the Wolverines, is they have options everywhere on the floor. And with 5 minutes to go, they're within 10 of scoring 100. And they're shooting 60%. So they're continuing their dominant shooting, which is always a question if they'll be able to continue that. But when you get good looks, it's no surprise that you're shooting that well.
Michigan foul
However, you could say the same thing. Miami's had their opportunities as well with good looks, and they just haven't converted. And I think that's the difference between good teams, bad teams, and even great teams is the teams that can convert when they have the open looks are the teams that are going to win a lot more games than the teams that cannot even generate open looks. Both teams, I think, have had their opportunities generating open shots. It's just Miami has struggled to hit them, and Michigan's been on fire.
As Reed misses her first foul shot, and that's another example of missing an open opportunity. These are giveaways. But she converts on the second, so it is now 90-50. Boogie Brzezowski is now in at point for the Wolverines. Flaherty still on the floor. Boogie calling for Sam Trammell. Now Flaherty on the wing. She dribbles it off her foot, but she's able to get the ball back, and she gives it to Brzezowski, who's calling for a screen. She's going to drive. She gets past a couple of Miami defenders, and she throws the ball up and out of bounds, and it's going to go Miami's way.
Back in the game now for Miami is number 40, Kendall McCoy.
10 points away from that century mark, and I think that's the goal, at least for the fans right now, is can Michigan get across 100 points, because they've got the win comfortably wrapped up with 4.5 minutes left to play, up 40. But always feel a bit better when you get to the triple digits on the scoreboard.
And now Smith drives for Miami. She gets it to go, but she is called for a charge. Great positioning by Trammell.
Yeah, absolutely great defense there. When you're unable to deny the basketball the opportunity to get to the rim, you've got to find yourself in a position to take the charge, and that's just great defenses. The help side came in, denied her the baseline lane. She goes to the basket, establishing your position, drawing the charge. That's just textbook.
Now Boogie crosses the timeline. She's going to dribble to the left. She finds Trammell down low, but it's back out to Munger. She gives it to Boogie. Now Danielle Williams drives and dumps it off to Trammell, who misses the layup. And it's going the other way for Miami, as Nancy Hunter was fouled at half court. And that's the Wolverines' fifth, so that will send Miami to the line for 2 shots, which is a change in women's basketball. No longer 1-1.
At the line on the shoot two for Miami is number 4, Nancy Hunter.
Hunter is only 5 feet tall. She looks pretty short out there.
Yeah, I think 5 feet tall might be generous, but I don't. You rarely see the media guides list players their actual height.
She misses her first. And her second. It's rebounded by Trammell and given to Munger, who will push it across the timeline. Now Boogie was open for 3, but she's going to drive. She tries to get it to Danielle Williams, but she is pushed out of bounds and will be called off of her. Miami ball. Hunter now gives it up to Smith. Now in the corner to McCoy. Back up top to Hunter. Now to Smith. Back to Hunter. She puts up a 3. And she gets that one to fall.
Nancy Hunter with a 3-point basket.
90-53. Wolverines trying to get to 100, but they haven't scored in a while. Now Munger pulls up the foul line. No good. Rebound goes to Smith. Smith is going to bring it up for the Red Hawks, and she's going to slow it down. She gives it to Hunter. Hunter picks up her dribble, and she's guarded by Brzezowski. And now she tries to pass it to Smith, but it's stolen by Munger. Munger's going to go the other way. Blocked by Hunter. Hunter now pushes it up. She gives it to Galloway, who's now on the floor, or excuse me, Rupright, and it's a jump ball. Rupright was not ready for that pass. If she had been, it could have been converted for 2, but now the Wolverines will get the ball.
And good quick hands there for Michigan as well, for continuing to pressure, force the turnovers. Just a solid defensive performance, but they've gone ice cold in the last 4 minutes, and I keep waiting for them to close in on that century mark. It appears it's going to be harder and harder to do so as each offensive possession goes by without the Wolverines able to add to their total. They haven't scored in the past 3 minutes.
And now Brzezowski tries to get it down low to Trammell, and it's going to be knocked out of bounds. So they're going to get another chance with 13 seconds on the shot clock. Trammell gets it in to Maria Backman, who was fouled on the layup. So she'll go to the line.
Foul on number 42, Jessica Rupright. That's her first, team second. At the line out to shoot 2 for your Wolverines is number 23, Maria Backman.
She makes her first, so now the Wolverines have 91. Her second is up and misses. Rebound goes to Miami, and now Hunter is guarded by Brzezowski. She's going to drive. She kicks it out. Shot missed by Rupright, and the Wolverines with the rebound to Brzezowski. She finds a cutting Sam Trammell, and that's good. The Wolverines 93, Miami 53, with 1:50 left in the game. Now Jazz Smith to Hunter. Back to Smith. She finds McCoy down low, and she puts up a jumper. That one goes in. Brzezowski to Munger. Back up top to Brzezowski. She's going to try to dribble some time off the clock. Now to Williams. Back to Munger. Brzezowski on the left wing. She dribbles down the middle. She puts up a layup. That one falls. Wolverines within 5 of the century mark with 1:10 to go.
Pretty scoop shot there. Just getting by the center for Miami, Ohio, and going low instead of going high and preventing Miami from having an opportunity to block the shot.
Now Miami working the ball around. Hunter gives it to Smith up top. She's going to drive. She puts up a good floater, but no good. And it is pulled down by Munger, who gives it to Brzezowski, who finds a cutting Sam Trammell, who's blocked by Hunter on that shot. But they're going to keep the ball. Now, Allie Wengler is on the court for the Wolverines, and she only sees minutes at the end of games like this, and the Wolverines always try to get her a basket. They inbounds it to Brzezowski, and she gets that good jumper from the right, and the Wolverines now 97. Hunter is going to slow it up for Miami. She gives it to McCoy, back to Hunter. Now in the corner to Smith. Down low to Ford, almost broken up by the Wolverines, but Hunter gets it back. And now Miami's going to call a timeout. With 18 seconds to go, the Wolverines lead 97-55. Despite being 5 feet tall, Hunter's gone out there, and she's been able to get some blocks on defense, create some pressure. She has 2 rebounds. But she's just trying to hustle with the little time that she gets in this game.
Yeah, and you always see that the walk-ons and, you know, the practice squad players, when they get the opportunity to play in the game, they're treating it like they're in the national championship. And I think Michigan's starters and, you know, their key role players have to appreciate seeing that kind of intensity and effort from the girls they practice with each and every day, and don't get the credit and the, you know, stuff the stat sheet like the starters do, but they work just as hard. Now the Wolverines are ready to go, and
Miami is getting back on the court. They will have the ball on their sideline. It is inbounds to Hunter with 8 on the shot clock. She's beyond the arc, guarded by Brzezowski. She's going to get a screen from Ruth Wright. And there's a shot clock violation.
Shot clock violation.
The Wolverines
to Michigan.
will get the ball with 5.9 to go in the game, up 97-55. And they're just going to dribble out the time as the Wolverines get a solid victory as they go on 8-2 and 7-1 at home. The Wolverines happy with this performance. And after this, it's a doubleheader. We have the men's basketball team playing at 6, and WCBN will have the call on that as well. So we'll leave you with a good night and go blue.